Welcome everyone to today's Wednesday webinar. Today's topic is campus visits. Hopefully the weather starts to get better and you guys will be able to actually get out there and start visiting those college campuses. Today we have a panel of college admissions representatives and staff that will be helping us with some questions about campus visits. So welcome everyone who is watching this live. This is being recorded, so this will also be available through our YouTube channel. So we'll just start by having you guys introduce yourselves. We'll start with Terry and then Brooklyn and then Peggy. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, I'm Terry Crumley. I'm Director of Admissions at the University of Northern Iowa.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn Yater, and I am the Iowa West Territory at Iowa Wesleyan University.
Hi, I'm Peggy Christensen, and I am the Assistant Director of Admissions at Iowa Wesleyan University.
Thank you. And again, thank you guys for agreeing to be here. All right, well, let's just start with the very basic. Terry, what's the importance, in your opinion, what's the importance of a campus visit?
Well, I think, we can all look at websites and we can all look at our review books that we all send out to all of you. But I think what going to campus really does is help you get a real feel for what the campus really is like for you and meet the people. The people are so much more of what the campus really is than just the buildings. And so I think it really gives you a perspective of how you fit into the community when you visit the campus.
Thank you. Brooklyn, what do you think, what grade level in high school and what time of the year do you think would be ideal for students to start going on those campus visits?
So the best time would be probably the fall time when you're just starting to apply for colleges. You're just starting to start looking at the college campus and try to do it before the snow hits as well. I'd rather not have us in the spring where it's rainy outside now or have to reschedule because of a snowstorm coming. The best time would do it your senior year or do it like the spring of your junior year. That way, because I see a lot of juniors starting to look, I would definitely start the spring of your junior year to start looking at different campuses.
Perfect. Sometimes when I do presentations as well, I also mentioned, to try to go when college is in session. I do understand that families have maybe a little bit more time in the summer. It's just a more laid back. But I feel like it's a good thing for students to see the campus the way it's going to be when they're going to be there. So I think spring, fall is a good time, but I tell my families, try to go when students are there so they get the real experience. Peggy, and this is something that I struggle with still, so help me figure this out. What's the difference between a regular campus visit day, an individual campus visit, and like a targeted campus visit, and who goes to those? How do you get invited? Do you register? How does that work?
An individual campus visit is obviously just like it says, you sign up for a day and time that works for you and your family, and you're going to have it to yourself. So private time with admissions, private time with an advisor, tour. Then there are targeted days. For example, we have an admitted student day coming up, and that's just for our accepted students who have already applied, been accepted, probably getting ready to, deposit, but just maybe need that little bit of information. Those we kind of do a bigger day. So we might have more advisors come in. We have our student success coaches come in and do an activity and talk about their division, what they do. So we have more activities. Those days are kind of nice because you might meet some other students who will be there at the same time as you in the fall, who's, if they deposit and you deposit, they're going to be your class, your person that's in maybe some of your classes, and you can get to know those people. And then we have like divisional days that are just for our nursing students or just for our business students. And again, that's kind of, we do more than just a private activity or private visit, but those are for, so you can get to know that department a little better and all those professors and know more about what jobs you can do in that major and what internships you can do. And so those are more specified to those majors. So.
Okay, thank you. Terry, what should students and parents expect to happen during these different type of campus visit days? Like, what is their day going to look like? How is it all day? Is it half a day? Is it a few hours?
Well, again, it kind of depends on the day, but for most of us, I think if you do like a daily visit, you're coming one-on-one, you're going to have an admission presentation. You're gonna have a tour of campus, probably meet with a faculty member, Lisa, you and I'm sure I will as well. And then, eat lunch in the cafeteria. If you have, at UNI, if you're interested in music, we have a music involvement session afterwards. And so, it's sort of that schedule. So admission, presentation, tour, lunch, academics, extracurricular activities. And it's usually about a half day. We also have our larger group visit days, that those tend to be just slightly longer because we have like a big campus organizational fair that students can come and learn about all the different organizations on our campus, and then the presentation, all that stuff. So that tends to be just a slightly longer visit, but for the most day, half to like a 9 to 2 o'clock would be the longest typically.
Okay. I'll stay with you for the next question, and then Brooklyn and Peggy, if you guys want to chime in after her. This is sometimes a question that I get from my presentations. Can students, like when they go on campus visits, can they spend the night? Can they like stay in the dorm?
Well, at UNI, we do not do overnight visits. I know some that when I've worked at private colleges, and I'll let my private college peers talk to that, but at UNI at this point, we do not allow overnight visits.
Okay.
So for Iowa Wesleyan, we used to do overnights. We quit for a while because of COVID and everything. We just started back up doing some overnights. Typically right now it's our athletics that's doing it. So like just last week we had our first overnight visit again, and it was a football player, and then we got one this week coming up and it's a football player again. So right now we're doing ones more for athletics. We haven't started them just for people who are non-athletes, but it is something we are considering again, and we did used to do. So we're just starting to get those back rolling again.
Okay. In your guys' opinion, Terry, we'll go back to you and then down to Brooklyn. What is when families go on a campus visit, what in your opinion is a must see? What is the thing on campus that they should go see? And also a must ask for parents and students?
Well, personally, I think a must see is you must talk to current students. So it's not necessarily a place. I think it's really talking to students that are living the experience and having some time. So whether that be the student that gives your tour, or if someone goes to lunch with you, making sure that you're having opportunities to talk to the current students. If I'm a parent coming, I think most parents we find really want to know about finances, right? They're about the steps of the process, right? And I'm a parent of 2 college kids, so I get that. So, one is, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to make sure my students staying on time, to apply, to, do all the little, pieces to be enrolled at college, right? So, but I think a big piece is how will I pay for this? And I think having some information and asking that information while you go on the campus tour is important. And just really, again, knowing what the steps are to help you enroll. And then, of course, not to add more to this, but, if you're really interested in a major, if you're really interested in, most students come because they say, hey, I want to do, a biology major, or I want to be a, chemistry major, or whatever, having time to really talk to those faculty, I think is really helpful as well. So faculty, finances, and current students.
That's a good checklist. Anything else to add, Peggy or Brooklyn, to that?
No, I was just going to say, yes, during our visit days that we have group visit days, we have our financial aid counselor come in and talk. We don't for our private visit days, but we do have some families that'll say, hey, while we're there, can we meet with financial aid? And then we will schedule that time with them while they're on their visit also. So it just kind of depends. But yeah, I would agree with her. We have our student workers that work in admissions do our tours as much as we possibly can. So that gives them that student time to talk and ask from a current student. And then like on our group visit days, we try to do some student panels and that so they can, learn from and hear from them. And then, yeah, I agree with the major part, the academics, that's huge to learn about the program at that university or whatever. So Brooklyn, anything?
That's, you guys both pretty much covered what I've been seeing when I have students come and visit. A lot of it is they're asking for the cost of attendance. They're asking about ways to, what kind of loan options they're able to get and what are other ways to get scholarships. And so those are important questions to ask. What kind of scholarships are you able to get at the university? And are we able to take outside scholarships?
And look, I'd add, you know, a lot of times on tours, we all typically show our residence halls. And if you're going to live on campus, we find that a lot of families do want to see, you know, where am I going to live? And we get that. So we do try to make sure. So, you know, if you're going to live on campus, at least get a sense. Sometimes it's hard as, you know, depending on the size of campuses, you know, when I worked at smaller campuses, we had 2 or 3 residence halls. You know, you and I, we have 9, so it's a little harder to show every single one, right? So,
Right.
but I think sometimes just to like get a feel for what, you know, the residence halls are like, I think that's helpful, especially if you've never been on a campus before. You're going to find that a lot of things look alike when you visit different campuses.
Yeah.
But you know, the first time around, especially, you want to see what living in residence hall is like, because it is a great experience if you live on campus. So
Perfect.
Yep, I agree. And we try to show a dorm room. We have had periods where our dorms are pretty full, so we have not been able to, but then we do have a virtual tour that we can send them. So, and the virtual tour does show in dorm rooms and everything so they can see, but like typically we try to have a room that's empty that we can take them through, because yeah, that's a huge thing they want to see. And I don't blame them.
Okay. Can students or families go on multiple college visits, and do you encourage that? Like sometimes I have students like, well, I don't want to be annoying. I'm like, I don't think you will be, but you know, what do you guys think about going on multiple campus visits to the same college?
I would say I definitely encourage it. I actually have you talked about the admitted student day, Peggy. I actually have a student that visit today, but she's also coming to admitted student day here in the next couple of weeks. That way she can get her last minute questions in before she decides on depositing. Because the personalized visits are nice to fit your needs, but then it's nice to go to a bigger setting. You get to see a little bit more different type, you know, different faculty members. You see the student success area, along with hearing more about athletics. Maybe if you're not into athletics, it's nice to just kind of hear what we have, and that way you're hearing questions from the other peers as well that maybe you didn't think about.
I say a couple different things. I had one student that probably came to 4 visits before she's a freshman now. And I think she came to 2 of our visit days and 2 private visits because her mom came to one and her dad came to one with her. But the more they can come to campus, we're fine with it, because I feel like it just helps them connect to campus even more. And it helps prepare them when they come, that now they're already really connected to campus. Again, like Brooklyn said, the visit days are great, like I said earlier, because you can meet students that are going to be here the same time as you. The private visit is good because you do have that one-on-one attention and maybe ask questions that you don't want to ask in front of everyone. Along with, I suggest that people visit every college that they're interested in, even remotely interested in, because you can think you're really interested in a college and you walk on campus and visit with people and you just don't feel at home. Or you think a campus, we've had a couple people at Iowa Wesleyan, we were maybe 4th or 5th choice, and they came to visit and they ended up loving the small setting and they ended up depositing when they were visiting. So I think the more you can visit, the better. And I don't feel like we ever think it's a pain for them to come several times.
Okay.
yeah, that's what I was going to add. I mean, our job is to help you decide on a college. We want to be as useful. You should come visit as much as you want. You know, we're there to help you. And so you're never, ever, ever a bother. Would never think that, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
And if you come as a junior, you know, you might not think of all the questions that now as a senior you have. So you learn more, and even just different seasons, you know, you might come in the fall or the spring, the campus is going to look different. Different things are going on campus. So it may attract you more to the campus, you know, one time than the other. So.
What should students do to prepare for a campus visit? Like, should they bring anything like transcripts, ACT scores, or just come with questions?
Any of us? For Terry, go ahead.
Jared.
You know, really just come as you are. I mean, certainly if you come with questions, that's helpful, especially one thing, especially when your first time, I'd say your first campus visit, you probably won't even know what to ask, right? But, you know, it's helpful you listen. The second one, you tend to have a few more questions because you've been there, done that. In fact, on our website, we have some suggested campus visit questions. You know, if you're interested in going to UNI's website and check out visits, and we have some questions. But I think the big thing, if you're going to talk to if you want to talk to academics, maybe come in with some questions about like, what kind of job can I get with this? What's your placement rate? Why is this a good program for me? You know, I think sometimes students come in and they don't ask any questions, because I know faculty can be intimidating sometimes, or, you know, so if they just are like, I just want to know about this, you know, just have a few questions about what makes you curious about that major. I think that's a good way.
And I would just agree that, I mean, if they haven't sent us their transcript and they have it, it's great to bring it, because then we can kind of talk to them about what scholarship they're going to get due to their GPA. But I agree with Terry. I mean, you don't have to bring anything. Just come, you know, with yourself, or you and your family, or guardian or friend or whoever, and just be ready to listen and learn. And if you have questions, great. You know, I love questions. I hate when I'm sitting with a family and I feel like I'm doing all the talking, and, you know, like I might be boring them or something. So if they have questions, I love questions.
Okay. This next question, we're almost done, but this next question is more for like the rising seniors or seniors that visit in the fall. Can students apply for admissions during a campus visit, or is this advised, or should they wait till they get back home?
I believe either or. I know that we give follow-up emails after the tour just to thank them for coming and visit. Here is some highlights from your day from talking to the admission standpoint. And if they haven't applied, we'll send the application link. We'll inform them they're getting the $1,000 campus visit scholarship. We'll inform them that if they told us they have a lower GPA, what are the next steps? And so we usually put that out on an email for them. But if they would like to apply while they're here with us, because they want to make sure they're doing the application process right, we're open for that. We make time for that at the end.
Yes,
I actually did have 2 people come to my office in the past and apply while they were there, and it doesn't happen very often, but yeah, if that's something they request, we're going to do it.
Yeah, we find that, again, whether they come for a daily visit or one of our group visit days, after or during that visit, they can apply on site, because we know sometimes it's just families are nervous about that process. However, we never want to force it either, right? We don't expect students to apply when they visit, because some students want to take some time. They want to just think through the application, and they don't want to have that pressure of somebody sort of breathing down their neck. So either way is fine for us.
Okay.
Yeah, we never ask them to, if they haven't applied, we never ask them to apply at a visit. Like Brooklyn said, that's where our follow-up email, and here's the application link. The students that I had do it with me, they asked if they could do it while they were there, and I said yes, but we would never ask them to apply while they were there, just because I agree with Terry, that can kind of be like pressure and uncomfortable and putting them on a spot.
Right. And the last question, where can students find out about campus visits at your institutions? We'll start with you and I, with Terry, and then move on to Iowa Wesleyan. So if students right now are watching this and are like, I think I want to go visit, where can they go to get information about your campus visit days, or any information about that?
If they just go to uni.edu, right at the very top, it says visit, and click on the visit link, and you'll have all the information that you need.
I don't know, I can answer, and we're the same. We're just iw.edu, and again, top right hand corner, there's a visit button. You click on that, and then it gives them a choice if they want to do an individual visit, or and if they choose individual, then it gives them an option if they want to come on campus or virtual, because we do virtual also, especially for our students from further away, and they might want to do a virtual first before they, you know, spend the money for flights and everything to come. Or then it takes them, they can choose a group visit, and then it tells them what group visit days we have, or event days that we have, and they can schedule those. So pretty simple.
I'll add that we also have virtual options. We do, speaking of people coming back to campus, sometimes we remind folks, like, if you just have one question, you could set up, we have Calendly, and you can just set up a Calendly visit with us. And so you don't have to make the trip all the way, especially like today when it's nice and beautiful and icy outside. You probably don't want to drive to campus, right? So yeah, so I think the Zoom, or, you know, the virtual options, as well as on campus, you know, if you really want to get your real feel of campus, we want you to visit. But I think virtual options are really great opportunity if you, again, can't make it because of cost, or just want to do a follow-up question type of thing. So
awesome. Well, that's all I had. Do any of you have anything else to add before we end the webinar? I have one more thing to say, but before I do that, do you guys have anything else to add or tips or anything?
Definitely visit smaller universities and bigger universities, possibly community college as well, because you will see the difference between a bigger campus setting and then a smaller campus setting. You got to see which one you're feeling more comfortable with. Do you want to know everybody in your class, or do you not mind being in a bigger class setting? It really just depends on that student's preference.
I agree with that. And I think too, just again, have to emphasize that we, as college admission people, we love helping students. And whether that's when you're visiting campus or have a question afterwards. So never feel like you're bothering or you're, asking for too much, because that's what we're here for. And we love helping you. So come ask us, come get our help. So,
And
perfect.
yes, I would just follow up with what Brooklyn said is, yeah, I feel like you should visit different types of campuses because yeah, you might think you want one, but then you visit that type, you might think you want the small campus and you get there and you're like, oh, this is just too, or you might, my sister went to a large university. I went to Iowa Wesleyan. I went to the small. So she did great large. I would not have done well with large. So visit both, see what's most comfortable for you when you're there.
Perfect. Thank you. I want to finish by saying an event that ICANN is hosting is the ICR College and Career Fair. That's going to be on March 26th. It is a Sunday. It's at the Kirkwood Hotel in Cedar Rapids. Everyone is invited. It is a free event. You and I and Iowa Wesleyan will both be there. So before you start planning for those campus visits, you can definitely get a head start and talk to them in person at this event. So again, that's Sunday, March 26th at the Kirkwood Hotel in Cedar Rapids from 12:30 to 3. It is a free event open to the public. There will be college admissions representatives as well as apprenticeship programs and businesses, local businesses as well. So I want to thank the three of you, Terry, Brooklyn, Peggy, for agreeing to be part of this panel. I will probably see you guys in person sometime this spring and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Nice seeing everybody.
you.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.